Hey guys, it's Nick from Pick'em MMA and I'm back with another UFC Fight Night video, and I'm going to be making quick picks right now. And today we're going to be talking about UFC Fight Night, where we have Marvin, the Italian Dream Vittori, going up against Jared the Killa Gorilla Cannonier. And we're going to be starting from the first prelims opener of the card, where we have Modestus Bukauskas versus Jack Pauga. Guys, personally, I'm not really betting this fight because there's too much stuff going on with this fight. I mean, I remember Jack Pauga's last fight, in which I had him winning, obviously, but I had him to finish Jordan Wright. I mean, Jordan Wright has never been to a decision, but Pauga was able to take him to decision somehow, which is incredible on its own. I mean, this guy's one hell of a boring fighter. I'm glad he got knocked out by Muhammad Usman. He's probably one of my least favorite fighters to watch. I mean, I just don't like seeing this guy fight. But he is going to be fighting Modestus Bukauskas, who got a win over Tyson Pedro, while being a pretty big underdog in that fight. Tyson Pedro gassed out after the first round, didn't have much to do in that fight. So Bukauskas was able to land enough strikes, do enough damage to take the unanimous decision there. And I do think Modestus Bukauskas can win this fight as long as he keeps outpointing Pauga from the range. I mean, he does have a 1 inch height advantage and 2 inches in reach. So I mean, that's definitely gonna help him here. I just hope he's not gonna let Jack Pauga clinch him to the fence and just lose this fight by giving Pauga control time for the whole fight. And that's exactly what Pauga is gonna be looking to do, just clinch him to the fence. So the pick is Modestus Bukauskas by decision. Let's go to the next fight now, where we have Ronnie Lawrence going up against Daniel Argueta. And guys, I am going to be picking Ronnie Lawrence. I know his last fight, he was a pretty good I think he was a favorite in that fight. And Said Yukub just took him down over and over and just took that decision win there. But before that, he got a win over Mana Martinez. Got a win over Vince Cachero by knockout, ground and pound. Got a win over Jose Johnson. So I mean, this guy has pretty good experience. Ronnie Lawrence does have pretty good experience fighting at this level. And Daniel Argueta, I mean, he's a grappler too. Not as good of a grappler as Lawrence, I would say. But he's alright. He's not too bad. He's got wins over Diego Silva by split decision. I mean, he's not that bad. I mean, he's got pretty good jiu-jitsu also from bottom. But I do think Ronnie Lawrence is gonna win by decision here. Maybe even a split decision. But if Ronnie Lawrence can get the 7 takedowns that he usually gets in every fight, if he can take Daniel Argueta down every time, like once in every round, I do think he's gonna be able to win this fight easily. And now for the next, so the bet there is Ronnie Lawrence moneyline. I think is the safest play. I would just say Ronnie Lawrence moneyline. Let's go to the next fight, where we have Teresa Bleda versus Gabriela Fernandez. And Teresa Bleda is the rightful favorite here. She's minus 275, which is crazy. I think she's like minus 240 right now, 250 on DraftKings. And the comeback on Gabriela Fernandez is plus 220. I mean, she's a big underdog. And there is a reason to that. I mean, Gabriela Fernandez does not have a good ground game. If any fighter takes her to the mat, I mean, she is clueless as hell. She does not know what to do. She has submitted some girls on the regional scene, but I don't think she's gonna be submitting Teresa Bleda here. The height does go to Bleda sees 3 inches taller, which is pretty big, and then has a 3.5 reach advantage, which is very nice. I do think Teresa Bleda is gonna win this fight, but I'm not laying down minus 270 or minus 250, whatever it is, on Bleda, who got knocked out by Natalia Silva by a spinning back kick. So I remember that fight against Jasmine Maverick. Everyone said Maverick was gonna win. Even I thought Maverick was gonna be able to get it done, but I should have followed my gut and took Jasmine in that fight. Maverick just was not on that level. In this fight, I'm gonna say Teresa Bleda, likely by ground and pound. I don't think this fight's gonna go 3 rounds. If Bleda does get her back, I think she's gonna choke her out, or maybe just ground and pound. I'm gonna say Teresa Bleda by finish. I know the bookies have this fight going over to the scorecards, but I think both of these girls are finishers. I mean, they do have pretty good finishes. She's a knockout on the regional scene, submission, decision. More than likely this goes to decision, but I think there is a likely chance for finish on either side. But the bet here is Teresa Bleda. The money line is just too wide. I'm gonna say Teresa Bleda by finish. Now let's go to the next fight on the prelims, where we have Felipe Bunes versus Jalgos Jumagulov. I can't believe he's back. Jalgos is back somehow. He's alive somehow, still in the UFC. I am picking the underdog in this fight. I just can't pick Jalgos. This guy's fights are so close. He makes his fights super close. He gets tired. He gets kind of tired in the last round and just gets dominated by guys. Johnson put the whole pace on him in the 3rd round and almost had him out. It was very close. Landed a lot of power strikes on him in the last round. That's why the judges gave that decision to Charles Johnson. But I did think Jalgos did enough in the first 2 to win the fight, but the judges just don't like this guy. Even with Jeff Molina, he lost the fight to Jeff Molina by split decision. Got knocked out by Manel Cape. And then lost to Miro Bazzi, who's an absolute stud. Has a win over Jeremy Rivera. I do think Jalgos is the rightful favorite because he does have pretty good experience at the UFC level. But I do think Felipe Bunes is a good underdog here play. I'm not about to bet Jalgos at minus 160, who's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. Come on. I'm not too high on Felipe Bunes either, but I do think he's pretty good. He might be able to do enough to have the better moments in the fight and to win by decision. I'm going to say Felipe Bunes by decision. Let's go to the next fight on the prelims, where we have Carlos Hernandez versus Denis Bondar. Guys, I do think the lines have flipped. Bondar is the favorite now. Let me just check. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to check if he is the favorite right now. Yeah, the lines. Bondar. Where is he? God damn it, I can't find him. Bondar. Yeah, Bondar is a minus 130 right now on DraftKings. Carlos Hernandez is plus 110. And Bondar is coming off a loss to Malcolm Gordon by knockout, in which his arm was injured. I remember I had money on him in that fight, and he just had his arm just got injured in that fight. I'm gonna pick Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez is pretty tough. I know he's coming off a loss by submission to Alan Nascimento, but Nascimento is a pretty big dude for 125, and has like 20 fights at the pro level. He's winning these fights very close over Victor Altamirano by split decision. Then got a split decision win over Daniel Perez. I'm gonna be staying away. I don't think I'm gonna be betting this fight. But I do think the value is on Hernandez. He does have wins in the UFC over some pretty good guys. And Bondar, I mean, his first debut in the UFC, he lost by knockout to Malcolm Gordon. It was arm injury, but still, just not a good look. Malcolm Gordon is not a UFC level fighter. Just saying. So I'm gonna go with Carlos Hernandez by decision. Let's go to the next fight now. We have Kang Ho Khan versus Christian Quinones. And Christian Quinones is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Undefeated in the UFC right now. Coming off a knockout win over Khalid Taha. I think it was in the first round too. And Kang Ho Khan is coming off a win over Batgerel Dana. Got a decision win over him. Lost to Rani Yaha. I mean, Yaha just got knocked out like in the first round. Just not a good loss to have. Has a win over Brandon Davis. Split decision, rear naked choke. I'm gonna go with the Christian Quinones. I think he's gonna knock him out in the first round. Just take money line. Christian Quinones money line. I have a bet on him, 1 unit on him right now. I do think Christian Quinones is safe to parlay. He's a very good striker, very technical. I do think this fight's gonna go over 2.5 rounds. If Christian Quinones doesn't knock him out, he's gonna win by decision. So that's my pick. Christian Quinones by likely by knockout. But yeah, I'm gonna go by knockout. Let's go to the next fight, where we have Jimmy the Brick Flick versus Alexandro Nono Costa. Guys, Jimmy Flick is not too bad, but his chin is not there. I mean, he has a really good win over Cody Durden. Submission, flying triangled him, just flew at him and just put him in a triangle. Then got knocked out by Charles Johnson like barely 4 months ago. And I think all of his losses are by knockout. He's got 5 losses by knockout, no wins by knockout. So he is going to be looking to take this fight to the ground. And Costa is coming off a loss to Amir Albazi by knockout. I mean, I think he won the first round against Amir Albazi and then got caught by an uppercut to Albazi. I'm going to be picking Alexandro Costa by first round knockout. That's all I need to say. Alright guys, let's move to the featured prelim of the night, where we have Raoni Barcelos versus Mal Johnson. Guys, this is a very tough fight to pick because Barcelo is coming off a crazy knockout loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, who's an absolute killer, future champion likely. So, but before he got a win over Trevin Jones, who's not that good, not really UFC level in my experience, my opinion. I mean, then lost the fight to Victor Henry, lost to Timur Valiev, has a win over Khalid Taha. And Mal Johnson, I mean, this guy just gasses out like after like the first 2 rounds, or even the first round. Doesn't have the best cardio, but got submitted by John Castaneda, who's an absolute stud. Got a knockout win over Anderson Dos Santos, overhand right. And then knocked out Kevin Natividad by an uppercut. I mean, Mal Jones has crazy power, and he's a pretty big underdog in this fight. If he can land some big power hook on Barcelos, I think he can sleep Barcelos in this fight. But Barcelo is obviously the more technical striker, the better grappler here, the more technical grappler. That's the reason that he's a minus 230 favorite in this fight. But I don't know how Ronnie Barcelo is gonna look after that crazy first round. He got slept bad in that fight. It wasn't even like a crazy hook, it was just a short left hook by Umar. I think Umar was he threw a flying knee and then just threw a short left hook. Just Barcelo just didn't see it coming. And Barcelo is getting up there in age. I mean, he's 36 years old for bantamweight. I mean, that's not too good. I really want to pick Ronnie Barcelo because he's the rightful pick here. But if Miles Johns can improve on his cardio, I think the value is on Miles Johns here. He's the more powerful striker, not the more technical, but if you can land something big, it's going to be a good night of rain for Barcelos here. And he is a younger fighter here, 29 years old, still improving a lot. So, I mean, this is a hard fight to pick, but I'm going to go with my gut feeling, Miles Johns. Barcelos should absolutely win this fight, but if you guys are betting like me, the value is on over 2.5 or Miles Johns money line at plus 200. I mean, there's definitely value there. Alright guys, let's move to the main card where we have Muslim Salikov versus Nicholas Dalby. And I'm going to be picking Muslim Salikov here, the older fighter here by like a couple months. I mean, this guy's just the better striker, the more accurate striker, the better. I think he's got the strength advantage here too. Has faced the better competition. I mean, his only loss was to Yang Li by knockout in the third round too. I mean, he didn't get knocked out in the first 2 rounds. He got slapped, I think it was the second or third round. And has a win over Francisco Trinaldo, who's an absolute stud. Elizio Gillespie, who just got a win over Abubakar Nurmagomedov. And has a win over Loreno Staropoli. Muslim Salikov should absolutely win this fight, but the only thing that worries me is if Nicholas Dalby does land more volume in this fight and stays away from Salikov's power. But I do think he's going to have a hard time avoiding those spinning back kicks, those heel kicks that Muslim Salikov likes to throw. And I mean, Nicholas Dalby is very tough, but I'm going to go with the Muslim Salikov by decision. Now let's move to the next fight on the main card, the absolute banger, where we have Nicholas Mota, the Iron, versus Manuel Torres, El Loco. Guys, I really wanted to pick Nicholas Mota here, but he has been slept pretty bad in his career. He's been knocked out 3 times and submitted once. I mean, this dude is a kill or be killed fighter. His win in the UFC was over Cameron Van Camp. So, I mean, he's got a win over Joe Selecki too, knocked out. Joe Selecki was a very good fighter also. I do think Mota has more power, but I just feel like Torres, like, this guy is so long, and he's 5'10", has 3 inches, 2.5 inches in reach. I mean, this kid is very good too, but Torres does get caught a lot in his fights. I mean, that knockout over Frank Camacho was very nice. I mean, you don't see his strikes coming. That's the problem, I think. And Nicholas Mota doesn't move his head either. He got knocked out bad by Jim Miller. He keeps his head straight on the line. I do think Manuel Torres is going to catch him in the first round. So I'm going to go with Manuel Torres by first round knockout. I don't see this fight going over 2 rounds. I think it's going to be either the first or second. I'm going to go under 1.5 rounds. I do have a bet on under 1.5 rounds. So the pick here is Manuel Torres by first round knockout. Alright guys, let's move to the next fight on the prelims, where we have Pat Sabatini versus Lucas Almeida. And Pat Sabatini is coming off a crazy knockout loss to Damon Jackson, where he got absolutely slapped by like a knee. I think it was like a knee where Jackson just caught him. It doesn't say here, but I think it was like a flying knee that put him down, and then Jackson just didn't let him recover. Lucas Almeida is a very powerful striker. He only has one loss at the Contender Series to Daniel Jahuber, who's an absolute stud. I just can't pick Sabatini. I mean, obviously he's a better grappler here, but at minus 185, I mean, that's just crazy. Pat Sabatini should absolutely win this fight, but I mean, every round starts on the feet, and if Almeida lands that power shot, it's gonna be good night for Pat Sabatini. And these lines are just, I don't know why there's. Yeah, Pat Sabatini is a very high level grappler, but I mean, his striking is not good. I don't like his striking. And now he's coming off a KO loss where he got absolutely slept, like, in the first minute. You don't know. I mean, he took off enough time. He took off like almost 9 months. So that is enough time. I do think Sabatini should win this fight, but the value is on Lucas Almeida by knockout. I do think Lucas Almeida is very live to get a knockout here, but Pat Sabatini should win this fight. So I'm gonna go with Pat Sabatini by decision or maybe submission. I think Sabatini, if he gets his back, he can absolutely finish Almeida on the ground. But Almeida does have pretty good takedown defense. I am going to be staying away from that fight. I just don't know how Pat Sabatini is going to be looking coming back after a KO loss like that. And Lucas Almeida is a very powerful striker and very technical too. Alright guys, let's move to the featured fight of the night on the main card, where we have Christian Leroy Duncan versus Armen Petrosyan. Guys, I am picking Christian Leroy Duncan. I mean, this dude is very, very powerful. I mean, he's got some crazy KO power. He's very long too he's got 79-inch reach. What? Oh my goodness. Almost 8 inches in reach. That's absolutely insane. Wow. I mean, Petrosyan is a pretty big dude for the weight class, but he's got 71-inch reach. I mean, Duncan almost has like a heavyweight fighter's reach. I do think Christian's punches is gonna get there faster, and I mean, Petrosyan is a very good point fighter. He's not really trying to knock you out, absolutely. He's just trying to point fight you to win by decision. He got a win over AJ Dobson by decision, in which I picked him to win. I had some money. I think I had like half a unit on Petrosyan in that fight. And he lost to Caio Borralho, who's an absolute grappling stud. Took him down over and over. Got a win over Gregory Rodriguez by split decision. I mean, that's a crazy win. Crazy good win. Has a win over Kolev by knockout. I'm going to be picking Christian Leroy Duncan. I mean, he doesn't have the experience that Petrosyan has. I mean, they do have about the same fights, but Petrosyan has been in some wars. Like, he's in that fight against Rodriguez. I mean, these dudes were like throwing at each other, throwing hammers. I mean, it's very hard to pick. Petrosyan has been knocked out by some guy at the regional scene by KO. I do think the reach is definitely gonna help Christian Leroy Duncan here. He's only like a minus 135 now, or minus 140. I do think Christian Leroy Duncan wins this fight. He's only minus 140 right now, so the money is coming in on Petrosyan's side. I do think Christian Leroy Duncan wins this fight, but if this goes to decision, it's gonna be 50-50. It is hard to put away Petrosyan, but Duncan can do it. I mean, this dude's got crazy power, and that reach is crazy too. 79, almost 80-inch reach for middleweight. I mean, that's absolutely insane. Alright guys, let's move to the co-main event of the evening. The fight that everyone wants to see. All I have to say for this fight is Arman Tsarukyan is a minus 1,000 favorite, and that's for a reason. He should absolutely just dominate Silva in the first round and finish him in the first round. So I'm going to be picking Arman Tsarukyan by first round finish, likely ground and pound, or maybe submission. I'm going to say ground and pound. Arman Tsarukyan by ground and pound. Under 1.5 rounds is a pretty good bet, I think. Alright guys, let's move to the main event of the evening, where we have Marvin, the Italian Dream, Vittori versus Jared, the Killer Gorilla, Cannonier. Guys, I need to say something. I think Marvin is absolutely gonna win this fight, and I'm shocked by the odds. I mean, I have 2 units on Marvin Vittori. A unit for me is $100 Canadian. So I have $200 on Marvin Vittori at minus 105. Right now, I think he's like minus 115. So the money is coming in on Marvin Vittori's side. This fight is the odds. The way the odds are, this fight to go over 4.5 rounds is minus 165. So this fight is expected to go all 5 rounds. And I think Marvin Vittori gets it done. I mean, this guy's chin is like a cinder block. You can hit him as many times as you want. He doesn't go down. I mean, he's never even been knocked down, like much less knocked out. Never been finished ever. He's had 25 fights already, and he has a win over Roman Dolidze. I mean, that fight was very close, but I think Vittori did enough to win that fight. His only 2 losses were to Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker, who are absolute studs. Marvin Vittori should absolutely win this fight. I'm going to say by decision. But maybe if Jared Cannonier gets tired in like the 3rd or 4th, 5th round, maybe Marvin Vittori can like lock in a submission. But Marvin Vittori has never finished anyone in the UFC. I think actually he does have 2 finishes, I think, in the UFC. He's got 2 wins by submission. I'm going to say just take Marvin Vittori money line. It's the safest play. Even at minus 115, it's very good. Very good odds. I got him at minus 105. I wish I got Marvin Vittori at like plus money. That would have been something. Even minus plus 130, that would have been awesome. But I think minus 105 is very good too. So I'm going to say Marvin Vittori by decision. He's almost like 10 years younger than he is 10 years younger than Jared Cannonier, 29 years old, and Cannonier is 39 years old. I mean, Jared Cannonier does have good power, very good striking, technical striking, but I don't see him knocking on Marvin Vittori in this fight. Alright guys, so that's it for this card. I will be making more videos for the best bets, the best underdogs, the lock of the week. So please stay tuned. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet. My goal is to get to 100 subscribers, and I just got off work and I'm making this video. I really wanted to get this video out there for you guys. And we're gonna bounce back with the lock of the week. And I'm gonna give you guys my lock of the week right here. It's gonna be Marvin Vittori. Just take Marvin Vittori by money line. It's my lock of the week, guys. So there it is. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the fights. We have 14 fights. I'm so excited for this. I hope you guys have fun. Stay safe, guys. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a nice weekend. Bye.